And we are live. Hello and welcome everybody to the Utopian Global presentation. My name is Claudia Eifert, and I'm here with the CEO and founder of Utopian Global, Bill Rowell. We are doing a different version today. We are doing the StreamYard, which is also great. Sometimes we do Zoom, sometimes webinar. Today, StreamYard. So I hope that you all can come on board and listen and enjoy our presentation, because we have some really exciting news for you that have been following us since quite some time, some years, some months, some just very recent. We are going to talk about today how to earn from income producing assets. We're going to tell you how to hedge your money against inflation, especially in these absolutely crazy times. And we're going to talk about what you can actually expect from Utopian Global and how you can really make money, because everybody, I believe, today wants to know and learn how to make money in the best secure way. So with that, I just want to give it up very quickly to Bill, who is here with me from our office in beautiful Dubai. So welcome again all the listeners from all those different media outlets. It's great to have you on board. And Bill, it's great to have you on board also joining us from Dubai.
Hi, Claudia. It's great to be here, and welcome to everyone joining us from around the world.
Fantastic. So in those next few minutes, I'm going to just walk you through the presentation. Bill will be there also for some questions and answers, of course. He is hopefully able to give for the viewers when you have a question that you want to ask via Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Please let us know. We will actually see that. We have here our as well support team on board, so they can handle these questions for you as well. Utopian Global, as you see, be your own bank. Invest in income producing assets the smart way. Now, the company, just to give you a little bit of a background, is actually here since 2008. This is when we started, so we are in 2022. So that is quite some time now. So you see, the company is actually a real deal. So many years around, and we have always been providing people with precious metals, gold and silver, and other income-producing assets. And today I want to talk about a new product which we launched a few months ago, which is still in the pre-launch but coming to its end, to its launch, which is all about a token which produces a yield for you, and that is called CashAds. But let me go a little bit into the presentation right now. Now I'm doing this also for the first time here in terms of this new slideshow layout. So bear with me if I'm a little bit slow sometimes in moving those slides. So let's go ahead here with the presentation. And as on our website, you will also find there, we aim to foster a new financial future to democratize finance through creating better access to income-producing opportunities. That is so important through our easy-to-navigate platform. And the future really, and I couldn't be more better today, this phrase, as to resilient to central points of failure, fraud, and greed. One that really empowers you with new level of financial opportunities. Because when you look around, of course, we see at the moment terrible things happen, and we want you to be protected, but we also want you to make money, because we need different ways of making money. We need different sources of income. So Utopian Global, personal finance without the middleman. We have been in precious metals. In fact, Bill is a licensed precious metals and precious stones dealer here in the DMCC in Dubai. And we have been providing precious metal services since 2008. And precious metals, gold mainly, is a hedge against inflation. Right now, more than ever, it is important to have some of your money into gold, and of course also silver. And maybe Bill wants to touch a little bit on that, because he is really our licensed precious metals dealer. So maybe Bill, you want to just give a few words why gold and silver is so key before I move into the other areas.
Well, thank you, Claudia. And it's a great discussion. And given the current economic climate and world environment right now, there's no better time than owning gold and precious metals, to be quite honest. I mean, gold historically has always been a hedge against inflation, but also a key to safety, a key to survival during these particular times, and especially times of really tragic and unfortunate war. So we've seen quite a run on gold. Gold has moved quite a bit in the last weeks. We've seen oil prices. I think energy prices in Germany and places is up 40%. Silver hasn't had the run that the gold has had. Primarily, gold's about 6% off its all-time high of 2020. But silver, incidentally, is still about 40% off its 2011 high. It's still a long way to go. So I'm obviously a silver buyer. I'm a great believer in silver long term. I believe people can really do very well holding silver. And then, of course, you incorporate silver into all the new electric engines and the EV market, which is going to happen in the coming years. I think that's a good metal to hold because it's also an industrial metal, silver. But given times like these, you need to be diversified. You need to have low debt, and you need to certainly be having multiple streams of income. And what we provide to the Utopian Global Claudio, as you said, give people the ability to save and preserve their savings through gold. And I was just looking at the inflation rates in the US. We often see, I think it's quoted over 7%. But we have to realize the numbers that's quoted to us from the government actually does not include energy, and it does not include food items. So you can go to a website from an economist. It's called shadowstats.com. And this economist calculates the real effects of inflation from the calculation done back in 1980, which includes food, which includes energy. And of course, you've got to think about it. When you get paid your wages, where does much of your income go? The income goes to paying for utilities in your house, doesn't it? And also goes to food items. So we've seen substantial increases over these really in the last year. And I think utilities like energy is really going to increase substantially in 2022, given what's going on in the world. So given that inflation, the real inflation is probably over 12% per year, even in the US, it means that your paper currency, the longer you hold it, the less it's going to buy. And that's really the whole idea of, I've got dirhams here, I've got euros here, I've got Swiss francs here, I've got US dollars here, but it's all paper. And the longer you hold the paper, the less it's going to buy. So the whole idea of gold is it's a hedge against that. It's a protection. An ounce of gold 100 years ago will buy the same amount of goods and services today as it did 100 years ago. In fact, it'll buy you more goods and services today than what it did 100 years ago. And that's really why historically the financially elite, rulers of empires, even central banks, they store, they have a hoarding, even though it's a small holding, but they have a holding of precious metals for that security.
Thank you, Bill. And let me see if I'm muted or not muted. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you, Bill. So that is really, really important. I mean, I'm a very big gold bull, so I always have been accumulated gold. I'm very much like silver as well. But I'm like the gold queen, so at least my email address, I believe, says that. So I really, really much like it because, of course, gold is not just only shiny for us ladies, but gold is, again, this hedge against inflation. When we look at history, of course, and we see it yet again, that people sometimes have to flee their country with a piece of gold. So gold is super important, so is silver. But we also need to have a diversified income. So we need income. We need other revenue sources. And you just very recently, of course, have basically launched a token, which is the Cashets token. And that is really all about bridging that gap between the real physical asset trade, the physical assets from food chain supply, from minerals, precious metals, and all of that basically bridging it through a token to pay out yield. So Cashets is an ERC20 token where you can earn up to 30% yield per annum. And we want to talk a little bit about that as well, because this is really key. We need to have our money working for us. But we also have a income opportunity where you can earn a referral income when you refer our products and services to others. So the team behind very quickly here, and we will hear in the upcoming weeks and months to go from different people who are looking after different assets. We have, of course, here William Rowell. Bill Rowell, he's our CEO and founder. We have Mr. Danish Wiswi. We heard some months back from him, myself, and very soon we're going to have, I believe next week, we're going to learn from Syed Hussein, who's the Executive Director in Engineering. And hopefully very soon we're going to also hear about from our IT officer, and we do have our legal advisor, Hansi Healy. So there's a team behind, of course, the company, which you're going to hear from time to time when they talk about new things which are coming on board through the Utopian Global and Cashets platform. Now, as you just mentioned, Bill, inflation is at 7% or actually more at all-time high. Banks give you almost no interest compared, of course, to the Cashets yield. I mean, you and I, we still know the time when we could bring our money to the bank and we would get, some good returns. I believe the other young folks we have on the call here, our marketing and customer service, Mary and Tanya, I think they don't know those times anymore. They're too young, but we still know this time. Unfortunately now, and especially, of course, my country, I come from Germany, we have now negative interest rates, meaning we pay the bank. You, Bill, you have a company in Switzerland, and you pay to have actually money in the bank. So there's nothing anymore with yield. Yet, of course, we do see bonds, real estate. I mean, real estate does give you some yield. Bonds gives you hardly anything, or basically actually really nothing anymore in comparison to inflation, because we always have to measure our money when we put it into, let's say, the bank, when we put it into a bond. Well, what is this actually going to give you at the end? Is it going to give you basically more, or is it going to give you less? Well, currently banks' bonds are certainly not giving you nothing. Now we have, of course, DeFi, decentralized finance, this new crypto way of actually making money, putting it to work. And we have Cashets, and Cashets is a very, really great, amazing platform, again, which bridges those assets, so this asset trade to blockchain, where you can generate up to 30% yield. And this is really great, because when we look at the major problems in traditional finance right now, is 53.6% of the world's population. That is over the half of the world's population. They hold just 1.4% of global wealth. That means most of the people, well, they earn, of course, the least amount of money, yet a very small amount of people earn basically all the money. And an estimated 1.7 billion people, they are actually underbanked or unbanked, meaning they don't have access to bank accounts. And capital controls continue to prevent people from actually transacting in the world economy. I mean, of course, today, very much it's in everybody's news. It's Russia, right? And I don't want to go, and we don't want to go into political stuff here. But obviously, there's a lot of people who are now cannot transact anymore. There's a lot of companies all over the world which prior had transacted. Well, all of a sudden, what's going to happen with their production? They cannot interact anymore. So there's a lot of issues going on at this moment of time. In fact, more than ever at the moment. And gold and silver, which Bill already touched on, is a hedge against inflation. Cryptocurrency, we do very much look into it. In fact, I very much like it. I'm very up to date with it, Yet of course, there's a lot of up and down. If your appetite of risk is okay, if you really study it, if you really into it, as much as I am personally on a personal level, you may do very, very, very well. Yet, if you do not take the time, if you don't really understand, you can actually big time lose. I embrace it. I believe it's going to really be a big part of our future. Yet, I also like to sometimes have a good sleep at night. And, gold and silver, it's very simple. It just gives you that calmness of mind because it can never go to zero. It can never go to zero. Mark my words. That is why gold and silver has been in every wealthy person's portfolio. But fiat currency, of course, well, if you are today in Russia and you have been earning and saving away the Russian ruble, well, unfortunately, this totally plunged. Some months back, Turkey, well, if you have been in Turkey, well, their currency, where did it go? If you are living in Argentina, and we have a lot of people from Argentina always watching, or Venezuela, well, you had just last year a 60% volatility. I mean, 60%. So you really needed to earn 60% more salary just to get by. And so we see this in many, many countries. And so currency is not always the best way to, let's say, be safe. So gold and silver, and this is why we embrace it so much. It's your hedge against inflation. You've got to have it. Now, our second, of course, really big, strong is this Cashet token. It's our new product where you can generate high yield. It's really great because it is asset backed. So real world assets such as metals, minerals, real estate, fast moving consumer goods, food, beverage, is all basically involved in this Cashet token, meaning there is money, revenue being generated through these assets. And they are being paid out in smart contract-based dividends in yield. And it's a perfect timing, big flexibility, because at the moment, I mean, look at the demand in natural resources is just huge, is huge. When you just look at it again, and again, please don't get me wrong, but we have, of course, this current situation. We have Ukraine, Russia, one of the largest, or both countries, the largest grain producers. Well, of the world. And in 4 weeks, around 4 weeks roughly, of course, we now have to enter into spring season in Europe, and they're going to plant the seeds. Well, what happens if they cannot plant the seeds? Who is this huge amount of grain are coming from when these countries cannot anymore produce it because the current situation they're in? So this is just one problem of the many other problems. Of course, we see shortages in fertilizer. Russia is one of the largest countries in producing fertilizers. We just had an announcement here the other day, I believe yesterday. Steel producers, one of the largest steel producers, well, that steel cannot anymore leave Russia. Where is it going to come from? So we, of course, here through the Cashet's platform, we're involved in minerals. And this is really great. So that means we become actually the supply side for this huge demand there is. And so when you're on the side, obviously, it's really great because you then actually, the price, you can also have the word is missing, but you can actually determine as well the price, which is really great. So perfect timing, flexibility is really key. And real-time flexibility when then also exchanging your Cashets, let's say you buy into, you hold the Cashets, you want to get out, is also important because you just never know what situation you are in, especially now. So to have the flexibility to get out is very key. And we have that flexibility as well because it's also 100% callable. Diversification. Now, we're achieving through Cashot's diversification, through a portfolio of those different asset classes and types, demographics, location, industries, and timings, because maybe there is one industry which was totally booming, but because of whatever circumstances is all of a sudden not anymore booming. We have seen oil prices, going to zero, never actually below zero, never in history that had happened. That was just in the beginning of the corona pandemic. Would ever anybody have thought about that the oil price can go to negative? I mean, I have stories from, again, different countries like Argentina, where they literally had nowhere to store the oil. They had to throw it away. You can have those times, and this is why diversification is really, really key. Callability. Well, a very important Cashot's digital asset, of course, token through this infinity vault can be redeemed at any time, irrespective of the holding period. And again, you can earn up to 30% APY when you enter into the highest yield. And of course, if you hold it and stake it, up to 365 days. If you hold it and stake it 365 days, your Cashot's token, well, you can actually, in the premium yield, earn 30% APY, which is really, really great. So how do we earn it from Cashot's? Well, it's very simple. The longer you hold, just think about a bank account. In a bank account, well, we used to basically put the money there in order so we get actually a return, right? And here, this is very similar, just that Cashot's is a token. But you buy the Cashot's token, and the longer you stake your Cashot's token, the more yield is gonna actually produce. That's as simple as it is. After 30 days, you get the minimum yield, and then of course 90 days gets a little bit higher, 180 days gets a little bit higher, and 365 days gets, of course, the highest yield. This is how it works, and we have a white paper. You can actually read the white paper. I encourage you to really do that. When you go to our website, utopianglobal.com, you see there straight in the first page, download white paper, and please do so. So let's give you an example. One Cashot's token equals 0.10 cents, euro cents. And let's say you would actually have your Cashot's token in the lowest yield, that's up to 17% per annum, and you put in 10,000 euro that you stake in Cashot's, you would actually make 17.04%. That would be 1,794 euros at this rate. So your 10,000 would then be 11,704. Now, if you were to opt into the premium yield, that requires a 35 euro monthly subscription. Then for 10,000 euro staked in Cashot's for 12 months, you're actually making 3,000 euro, or your 10,000 is now actually 13,000 after this 365 days, because you having a 30% annual yield. This is how it works. And we have those three different types of entries where you can select your yield. So either you become a standard yield, that's basically you just join and you enter your email, you basically do your KYC, you know your client, know your customer. So we approve you, we have to do that. And then you buy from as little as 200 euros your Cashot's, or you buy precious metals. This is a standard yield account holder. Or you actually become a premium yield account holder. That is 35 euros per month what you're paying. Now you'll be able and eligible earn up to 30% yield if you leave it for 365 days. Plus, when you refer other people, you can earn also up to 6% on all your first level referrals, meaning all your direct referrals. You can earn also yield on their Cashot's, which is really great. Plus, of course, you get the gold or silver if you purchase gold or silver at a better price at wholesale, and you don't have any fees when selling back, because this is already included. But if you want to go one step further and actually become an affiliate, that means now you are having a one-time basically package which you need to buy. It's a 390. You get also tokens in that. So you get actually 1,600 tokens, Cashets tokens in it, which is equivalent to 160 euro. Plus, you now can actually earn not just from your direct referrals who buy Cashets, but also from your indirect referrals who buy Cashets. Plus, you have, it unlocks you also another income levels, earnings from the building, the team, the building, the network. And as we all know, your network is your net worth. So it's really great to have a network. And if you like to build a network and help other people to also make money, well, why not making some commissions for showing them how to do so? Plus, of course, similar like the premium yield, you also get your gold and your silver at a wholesale price and no fees. So those are the packages which we do have, or the different options: standard yield, premium yield, and affiliate. And as affiliate, then every after the first month, so the second month, it's then 35 euros, just like the premium yield. So as you see here, very simple, the referral bonus when you are in premium yield, you share, and whoever buys the Cashets, you actually be able to earn a commission of 0.5% monthly, as long as they do lock their tokens or stake their tokens. Affiliate, again, it's very simple. It's a one-time 390 and then 35 euro on a monthly basis. And again, you can stop at any time. So there's no basically saying, okay, well, I have to, no, you can stop at any time. At the moment you stop, and let's say you're not paying any more than 35 euros, but you are not encashing your Cashets, meaning you're leaving your cash at stake, you simply then don't get the premium yield, you then get the standard yield paid. So this is the only difference there. So where to from now? Pretty simple. If you're ready to start to really create your own economy, well, register today, talk to the person who invited you to this presentation, choose your level of entry, and start actually earning. Because when you buy your Cashets today, well, you're going to actually right away start with the earning, which is really great. And of course, again, gold or silver, I always make the emphasis on it. It's so important. And the great thing is with us, it's so flexible, because when you buy your gold, so it's going to be physically purchased from the more best known and largest refiner in the world, which is Argo Horias. This is what we're working on since 2008. And you have your gold physically there, which is really great. So you keep saving from maybe as little as 25 euro, and you keep accumulating, and anytime you wish to sell it back, well, like this, you push a sell back button and it's actually being sold back. Now, we do also have the flexibility to have it physically stored for you in Loomis. So we work with Loomis. In Switzerland, Loomis, I believe everybody would know Loomis International. They are almost in every country represent. And so there's a large storage facility. So let's say you buy your gold, your grams of gold, and then you say, okay, so I want to have 100 gram or 250 gram. Well, you can then convert this physical grams into that bar, have it shipped to Loomis. We also do physical shipping, but physical shipping is getting more and more difficult because of the hassle of obviously shipment, security, and expenses. Because since this Corona crisis, the shipping cost is just like going through the roof, and it's just not stopping. Yeah, we can decide what you wish to do. But it's pretty simple. Our system, our platform, which we have, and it gives you a great flexibility, which is very much key. So with that, basically, I went over the little bit of a short presentation, 30 minutes, but I want to make it longer. There is some questions which I do see here. I don't see always all the questions because sometimes they're just delayed because of the platforms responding to, of course, the StreamYard, which we are using. So I see here something from Saikiran store. Well, there's just a recent newsletter which came out. Please go to your email and check newsletter. Maybe it is also in spam, or send us an email to support@utopianglobal.com, because this is just a very recent newsletter, which is just like 2 or 3 days when it came out. And Bill, do you want to make any comments to the presentation? I know we have been working so hard, and you are working so hard. There's something exciting coming out next week. There's a lot of things going on right now. We are not stopping, of course, with Cashets. There's a lot of things which are going on. Maybe you want to share something, give some comments before we close this out?
Sure, Claudia. I think the most important thing when times get tough, you've got to focus. You really have to be focused. You have to really have a look at your own position, and you got to keep on position yourself to have multiple streams of income. This is what we do at Utopian Global. We've been doing this now for 14 years. We offer the people the opportunity to have multiple streams of income. Very important. Then, of course, you have the ability to be able to preserve your wealth through precious metals, and of course. We have Cashets, a high yielding token backed by real assets. Now, this is really important. You touched on inflation, you touched on negative interest rates. What does that mean in layman's terms? As you said, Claudia, you deposit some of your income, maybe in a bank, and the bank is now charging you for actually having those deposits in the bank. So you're losing wealth. Then you put the effects of inflation on top of that, and of course, your wealth is actually deteriorating very, very, very fast. But it's a silent deterioration. Most people don't realize this. So you have to reinforce your position during tough times. And this is what we do at Utopian Global. And if you look at what opportunities are out there, what can you do during these times? There's not a lot of options out there. But here you are, a company that's been around for 14 years, involved with real tangible assets, involved with a fantastic team. This gives you the ability to be able to reinforce your position for yourself and your family as we move forward through these challenging times. And the last thing I'd just like to say, don't let the mask of the media program you. It's all about distraction. And without pointing fingers to one side or the other, I believe all of this could have been prevented. I think the West has really let the Ukrainian people down, that they should have just signed the Minsk agreements. We don't want to talk about politics, but I think this whole thing could have actually been completely avoided, but they didn't want it to be avoided because, of course, we finished now the COVID crisis. Now we have the next crisis, and this covers up many of the bigger financial problems that the world is actually facing right now. So that's really what I have to say.
Thank you, Bill, and it's always really great for your insight. And of course, we are very much involved into that, so that certainly, like a lot of people, it's very dear to our heart. I mean, we have friends. I have friends in Ukraine. I have friends in Russia. So it is very, very hard. So we, of course, are all with you, and we pray for you that. You know, it's tough times, but again, like you said, when it's tough, you got to be strong when it's getting tough. And it's certainly going to affect gold prices. It's going to certainly affect, of course, the mineral prices. It's going to affect the supply chain very much. So it's really affecting the world. I mean, we can, which is like, I want to make one comment because like we have people here from different places, right? You are from Australia. I'm from Germany. We have our beautiful support team here. Marie Chris, she's from Philippines. We have Tanvir, who is from Pakistan. Different countries, different continents, right? So we were just talking the other day, you know, and we always talk in office here. We have so many nationalities which are working here in this wonderful, beautiful Dubai. And we're pretty safe, so nothing has really happened. You can leave your purse somewhere, you can come back next day and it's still there. Nobody's going to touch it. And that's actually really nice to live in these sort of environments where you don't really have so much to worry in that sense. Yet, of course, we hear always the same everywhere. It's expensive. prices are going through the roof. We have here our investment banker, of course, Danish, who's saying, well, oil prices, gas prices going high. Mary says in Philippines, prices are getting high. I hear from my family in Germany reporting prices getting high. Well, if you think they're high now, wait another few weeks and months to come, because obviously this created crisis. Really, we're going to see even more of those to come. And this is why more than ever, we have to do something. Like, this really time is almost running out now. You got to really do something now. And you have to make other sources of income. You got to diversify. You have to have some gold. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I know we have a lot of people and a lot of our followers, they're all into crypto. I love crypto very much, but just understand they can, like this, switch off the internet. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Own physical stuff. Wecash's token is also digital, but yet we're trading in real physical assets. You got to have an income stream. So we provide all of that. So I hope that you learn something. I hope that you make a right decision. I hope that you don't wait, because it is getting very, very edgy out there, I would say. So with that, thank you so much, all our listeners. And again, if you have any questions, please send us an email to support@utopianglobal.com, or go back to the person who actually invited you to this presentation. And don't forget, next week, we're going to have our engineer, chief engineer here. He's going to actually do a question and answer session with our CEO. And we're going to talk about the real stuff, the real assets, so that you get an understanding why it is so key to be engaged into this sector. With that, thank you so much, and have a great evening or day, depending where you are. Okay, I'm sharing just the email address. I have been told to the screen, that is support at, how do I do that? I don't know. Okay, Tanvir, you need to help me there. So you see, this is good to have a team who's actually helping you. So Tanvir, you help us to put it up there, support@utopianglobal.com, because I don't know what to do. There, and then I'm gonna stop the recording. So he's gonna just put it up for you guys. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mary. And I see you all next week.
Thank you, Claudia. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.